Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Butter and Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. Today we have a real treat for you. Today we're here to show you how to make your very own spicy caramelized peanuts. Would you just look at these guys? All the details coming right up, so stay tuned. This beautiful recipe starts with very simple ingredients. To a good skillet, it can be cast iron like mine or a regular skillet if you would like, we add 2 cups of peanuts to cook over medium heat. To that we add 1 cup of sugar, and we stir those to combine and make sure that we get that sugar evenly distributed throughout the peanuts to cover the bottom of the pan. Now, to this, we're going to start off by making a simple syrup. So we're going to be adding in 1/3 cup of water, just enough to soften that sugar and melt it just a bit so that it can start the caramelization process. Like most candy making, you want to make sure that you stay with this and you have the time to invest in it. Depending on your cooktop, it should take anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes or up to 10 to 15. For me, from start to finish on my cooktop, it takes about 12 minutes from start to finish. If you have a commercial cooktop, it could take less time, and if you have an older model electric, it could take a little bit longer. The key here is to stay with it, keep stirring, and trust the process. The great thing about this recipe is, like other candies, it has distinct markers that you want to look for. But your pro tips are to keep an eye on your heat. Make sure that it's constant at about medium or medium to low. You'll know whenever that sugar starts to boil what is a good constant heat for you. The first thing we look for is for that simple syrup to start to separate. And when the water starts to evaporate, I liken this to like making gravy. You watch for the separation from the syrup from the bottom of the pan, and as you stir, that's very easy to see. You'll see it happen here. It does just like gravy in that respect, that it will tell you whenever it's about to start to get dry, and we'll see that happen pretty quickly. Keep a hot pad nearby so that you can quickly regulate the temperature, and there we see that gravy type separation starting to happen. You see, I've got an oven mitt or a hand towel where I can easily take this off of the heat completely to quickly cool it off. So use your sense of smell to know that if your peanuts are cooking too fast, you want to just quickly remove them from the heat to calm things down a bit. But they start to brown as the water evaporates, and keeping them moving will keep that from happening too fast. I promise it's not as difficult as it might seem. Okay, so now you see we have less and less of that milky sugar substance. So everything is about to happen, and it's going to happen very fast. So it's starting to get a little harder to stir. So that sugar buildup is getting all the moisture out, and we are starting to see the peanuts start to be coated and become a little dry and sandy. Now this is the stage where it's just about to turn into candy. This would mimic, like if you make candy, that hard boil stage, and you'll see that I'm starting to just move them off of the eye to have a little bit more control over the heat, because once those sugars start to really cook and caramelize, see how sandy they are, then you want to keep that sugar from burning. We want a nice brown or caramel color on these, but we don't want them to be burnt. Now this is the stage, the sandy stage, that most people kind of give up and probably would toss it, but just stick with it. You're going to see the magic happen. Now we're going to fast forward just a little bit so you can see it happen right before your eyes. Okay, we're going at top speed now, but they stay sandy and they stay sandy, and you start to see the peanuts start to brown, and here before you know it, that sugar is also going to start to brown and will start to caramelize. You can see me moving things around here, and now we're starting to get that nice caramel syrup as those sugars are broken down. We have a nice light syrup going on right now, and at this point you can just watch that syrup, and once it turns the level of brownness or caramel that you want, then you need to immediately take the peanuts off of the heat. We're going to keep them moving the whole time so that they all can start to get nice and coated, and you'll notice that the color is changing on them too as the caramelization process starts to happen. This is a beautiful thing to watch, and it really doesn't take as long as it feels. So if you did want to make this recipe, I urge you just to stick with it and trust the process. Look at those gorgeous browned peanuts. Y'all, this is worth every minute and every wrist turn that you make to make these guys. All right, these are perfect for me. They are a nice light caramel, but you could continue to cook them a little bit longer if you wanted them just a little darker brown. That's the beautiful thing about cooking. You do this according to your preference. We remove that completely and carefully from the heat and set it aside while we get our seasonings together. Now, these are the basics for a sweet, spicy peanut. And we're going to be adding in about 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, about 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, about 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of smoked salt. You can do more or less to your liking. The chili powder is not that spicy, but it does add that smokiness that you look for in a sweet and spicy flavor. So I urge you here, get creative and add in all the things that you like. And oh, lastly, that smoky smoked salt. Now we be sure and give that all a really good mix. And I have some parchment paper over here on a board all ready to go, and we're going to pour these guys out and try our best to spread them out in a single layer. We're going to leave them to cool completely, and then we'll break them apart into individual peanuts or either small clusters. So think bar snack. This is different than brittle because you don't have like a surface of candy. But there they are. We spread them out and we let them cool completely, and then we break them apart, and they are perfect. Okay, so we have let them cool on our parchment paper, and now all you have to do, and this is similar to brittle, it is, but you just have to break them up with clean hands, and then they are ready to serve. They are fantastic. You can make them spicy. You don't have to. This is just a recipe to get you started, but we love them with that little kick. So let's give them a taste. Crunchy, cooked peanuts with just a hint of sweet, smoky, salty, and a little spice. Just like me. Sweet and spicy all at the same time. So we hope you have enjoyed learning how to make these spicy caramelized peanuts. Alabama is one of the top producers of peanuts in the United States, and we are proud to be a supporter of our local Alabama peanut farmers, and we hope that you will grab some Alabama grown peanuts as well and try out this recipe. This recipe, like all of our others, can be found over at thebutteredhome.com. You get a free printable recipe card. We work real hard on our website, so we would appreciate a visit there. Also, make sure you're following us on all of our social channels. We have a really good time. You never know, we're going to pop in live on Facebook or Instagram and have a big time making a fool of myself. So you don't want to miss that. And if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, make sure you head over to YouTube. And if you haven't already, search for The Buttered Home. And when you find us, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. Y'all, these are fantastic. They won't last long. I probably should have made a double batch. Well, there's still time, right? We hope you'll try this recipe like many others from thebutteredhome.com and love them as much as we do. And as always, from The Buttered Home to your home, I sure love you. Bye.